March Madness is at the starting gate with 8 teams poised to make the final run for the Illinois Girls Class A State Championship. 4 of the 8 schools are here for the first time ever, and we'll tip it off next on the IHSA Television Network. Let the March Madness begin. Over 15,000 fans are expected in Normal, Illinois at the Redbird Arena this weekend to see who will be crowned the Class A state champion. Carrollton has won it the last 2 years. We've got 4 brand new teams who have never been here before, and we expect quite a game in game 1. We hope you stay with us all day long. Let's toss it down to Lee Hall and Bernie Chero.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. Bernie, when we look at this first game, it's a couple of rookies when it comes to state tournament play. Riverton and Chicago Hope both making their first appearances here. And while the state experience might be a little short on the resume, neither team's lost to a Class A team all season.
It's going to be a great matchup. Both teams haven't lost very many games. Riverton's undefeated. Chicago Hope 2 losses to AA schools.
Let's take a look at how these two teams got here. First, Chicago Hope, the first public league team to play in the Class A finals. They beat St. Francis of Wheaton in the sectional semifinal, got past Illiana Christian in the sectional final, and then a great game in the super sectional, edging Timothy Christian 39-36. For Riverton, they beat Rushville in the semis, then Camp Point Central by 7 in the sectional final, and then in the super sectional at Quincy, kind of a controversial finish there. They beat Lewiston 49-47. So that's how the two teams got here. Let's take a look at some of the key players to today's game. For Chicago Hope, it's All-Stater Shantae Roberison. This guard matchup today is going to be excellent.
It is going to be a game of the guards. Shantae Roberison, she is a 5'4" senior guard. She plays like she's 6 foot. She's attending Alabama State University, and she is the leader of this team.
And now for the Riverton Hawks, they have a good guard as well, junior Devin Flanagan.
Miss Flanagan is a player that likes to go inside and out. She's a junior guard. She runs the floor for this team. She's their leading rebounder. It's going to be interesting to see if this guard leads this team in rebounding. Then they're going to have to watch how the fast break occurs for Chicago Hope.
The Chicago Hope Lady Eagles only losses this season to 2 AA schools. Let's take a look at the keys to the game for them.
You know, we're looking at the keys for first, Chicago Hope. Coach says, let's forget the glamour. You're down at state tournament, but let's just play the game. She feels this group of girls, they were born to run. They can run the floor up and down, offensively and defensively. They want to dominate the boards. They feel that McCoy, she's a beast on the boards. That's what Coach says. Those are the 3 keys of the game for Chicago Hope.
And now for the Riverton Hawks, who come into this game undefeated.
Coach says he needs to limit shots. He only wants them to put up 1 shot. They need to dominate the defensive board, protect the ball. If they turn the ball over, they know they're in trouble. They have 5 to win. That means all 5 players have to contribute offensively in order for them to come out on top today.
It should be a great ball game. Riverton undefeated, Chicago Hope, the #1 team in the state. The 2 teams they lost to met last night in a sectional final, and Oak Park Fenwick knocked off Marshall. So Chicago Hope is the lone Chicago Public League representative left in the Class A or AA girls for that matter. We will be back with the starting lineups from Redbird Arena in Normal after these local messages. And welcome back to Redbird Arena in Normal, Illinois. Game 1 of the Class A quarterfinals about to get underway here. Let's take a look at where these two schools hail from. Of course, Chicago Hope, that's an easy one. The Lady Eagles, 28-2 coming into this game. They are out of the public league. Of course, the big shakeup this year, the public league does not get an automatic bid into the AA tournament. We'll talk more about that. And there is Riverton, about 20 miles east of Springfield. They come out of the Sangamo Conference. Their enrollment's 411 and enrollment 533 for John Hope College Prep. And there's a look at our officials for today. Jerry Hebler, Ronald Kotzner, and Brad Sell, a veteran crew for today's ball game. Should be a good one. 61 wins and 2 losses between these two teams this year.
And both losses coming to AA schools. So we're going to see some great basketball. And it'll be interesting to see the different styles of play, because one from the Chicago Public League, very aggressive.
Now for our national anthem from Decatur Eisenhower High School, it's Nick Nolte.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? Nick Nolte from Decatur Eisenhower High School.
And let's go over to today's PA announcer, Dave Coley, for today's lineups for Chicago Hope and Riverton.
Between the Hawks of Riverton High School and the Lady Eagles of Chicago High School. First, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the 9 starters from Riverton. Number 3, Gina Moore. Number 4, Carrie Chester. Number 10, Hayden Jerome. Number 15, Tanya Krasinski. Number 22, Nicole Cessna. Number 24, Amanda Austin. Number 25, Leanne Fuller. Number 40, Gary Duck. Number 44, Stephanie Moran. And number 50, Abigail Sherman. And now, let's meet the 9 starters from Chicago Hope. Number 5, Kristen Marsh. Number 12, Lauren Lewis. Number 14, Luxavia Tony. Number 32, Brandy Weeks. And number 41, Monique Patton. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the starting lineups for this afternoon's game. For Riverton, the guard forward 5'8", the senior, number 11, Bethany White. For Chicago Hope, a guard forward 5'5", and a senior, number 3, Tatiana Valentine. For Riverton, a guard forward 5'10", and a junior, Casey Carver. For Chicago Hope, point guard 5'4", and a senior, number 20, Shante Rovirason. For Riverton, guard forward 6 foot and a junior, number 20, Becky Coaches. For Chicago Hope, at forward center, 5'9", and a senior,
number 21, Sarah McCoy. For Riverton, at guard, 5'9" and a junior, number 23, Devin Flanagan. For Chicago Hope, a forward, 5'9" and a senior, 23, Akila Harris. For Riverton, a guard forward, 5'8" and a senior, number 32, Jessica White. And for Chicago Hope, a guard, 5'7" and a senior, number 24, Brandy Durham. The Hawks bring a 33-0 record into today's contest and are coached by head coach Kyle Price and assisted by Jamie Tolan. The Lady Eagles are 28-2 under head coach Janelle Spearman. She's assisted by Hank Hicks and Adam Fisher.
All right, there you have it, the lineups for the Riverton Hawks and the Hope Lady Eagles. Take another look at those for you real quick. For Hope, it's Akila Harris, Brandy Durham at the forwards. In the middle, it's Sarah McCoy, 13 rebounds game. The guards, Tatiana Valentine, and the All-Stater, Shantae Roberison. For Riverton, it is Casey Carver, Devin Flanagan at forwards, Becky Coaches at center, and the White sisters, Bethany White and Jessica White, at the guards. And there's Janelle Spearman and a couple of young coaches here today, Bernie, and not a lot of experience, but a whole lot of wins between the two of them.
Right. Janelle Spearman only coaching for 4 years, and Coach Pierce only coaching for 3 years, but only having 25 losses between the two of them. That's an excellent record that any high school coach, any college coach would love to have.
Kyle Price, his third year, 75-15 at Riverton. Now, he also spent 5 years coaching in the grade school level, coached the 8th grade boys, and Clint Cuffle, who is one of the most improved players in the Missouri Valley Conference this year for Evansville. In fact, he's the most improved player in the conference. One of his players, they went to state back in '99 and 2000, where they finished 4th. Janelle Spearman, her 4th year, 111 wins, 10 losses. Riverton in the defensive jump ball, and the Lady Eagles control. They get first possession here this afternoon. Riverton playing man-to-man much of the season. Here's a three-point try, up and no good for Tatiana Valentine. Only 2 misses all year for her, 27 of 29 coming into the game.
Well, Coach Price said he wanted only 1 shot, so that was a great first defensive stance.
Lady Eagles in the man-to-man defense as well. This is Jessica White, and she passes it to sister Bethany in the corner. Flanagan posts up inside, loses it, gets it back, puts it up and in. She leads the Hawks with 17 points a game.
The Eagles had a nice double team down at the low block, but she put up the ball very strong.
Chicago Hope looking to tie, and does. That's Akila Harris, a 5'9" senior, 9 points a game. Very balanced scoring for Hope as they put the press on here.
See some full court pressure here, in which Riverton really isn't accustomed to.
Both teams say they like to get up and down the floor. One strength for Kyle Price's team. He says all 5 girls on the floor are a threat so far.
Nice,
Devin Flanagan.
and you know what? Jessica White set that all up with a nice backdoor screen, allowing her to go to the basket.
Both teams off to a good start here. They seem comfortable for their first trip to state. Here's Roberison in the lane, up, no good. Tip. Flanagan, the leading rebounder as well as scorer for Riverton, comes away with it. We've got our first foul of the game.
You know, both teams, they have comparisons with scoring. Riverton averages 63 points a game. Chicago Hope averaging 52 points a game in scoring.
Riverton again against the pressure. You will be impressed by the play of Devin Flanagan today, just a junior. Just as soon as we say that, she turns it over.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how she can handle that pressure, because it will be constant on a college floor, which will be very taxing, I would think.
10 more feet to deal with than in high school. Here's the three-point try by Brandy Durham. It's off the mark.
I'm
really impressed with Riverton's ability to get some very good positioning on defense with the rebounding.
There's a look at Janelle Spearman, and a graduate of Illinois State University back in 1994.
She was actually a manager for the basketball team, men and women.
Both teams say they like to get up and down the floor, as we mentioned. So far, a half-court game.
It's a little mix on defense. He's trying a little bit of a matchup.
Durham tries the three again. She's 31% back there. That's 0 for 2, 0 for 3 now for Chicago Hope from behind the arc.
Riverton's very patient with their offense.
Here's one of the White sisters. That's Jessica. She's misses her first shot. Her sister Bethany there for the rebound. She misses too. And that's unusual. Those two girls, very good shooters. Hope tries to go into the post. It's kicked, and it'll be Eagles ball.
Sarah McCoy had posted up very well, but kicked it out of bounds.
Nice pass inside.
Boy. Nice assist.
Sarah McCoy from Robertson. We're tied at 4. A little over 3 minutes into this one. Quarterfinal number 1.
It's a switch on the full court pressure.
Flanagan takes it all the way. No shot. She's fouled on the way to the hoop.
That was very smart by Devin. She did a solid crossover. She felt the defense really overplaying her, and so she crossed over and really did a good job drawing the foul.
Fouls on Akila Harris. 4:41 left in the first quarter. Game tied at 4. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick. 4-4 our score. Riverton and Hope tied with 4:41 left in the first quarter. Anything you want to know about this tournament, or any IHSA sport for that matter, www.ihsa.org. Good thing it's not a pay website, or I'd be in debt right now, because we use that quite a bit in getting ready for our preparations. Stats, any kind of history of the tournament you want to find out, it's all there for you. There's a look at some of the numbers, comparatively speaking, coming into this game. Riverton averaging 63.5 points a game, Hope scoring 52.6, and then there's the defensive averages. Riverton only giving up 36 a game, and Hope has improved that 42 a game to 33 points a game in the state tournament.
And that's a big difference with, you know, what you can score and what the opponent gives up.
Devin Flanagan with it. It all begins and ends with her, and she's fouled on the way to the hoop.
That was a very nice drive. It would have been more to her advantage if she would have finished strong. She had to add that extra swoop underneath in the basket, but it would have been a solid three-point play if she went up to the glass.
That's 2 fouls on Brandy Durham. Flanagan goes to the line where she's 73%.
Both teams, they only go 7 players deep, and we haven't seen any substitutions. So it'll be interesting to see how long that continues.
Devin Flanagan 6, Chicago Hope 4. She does a little bit of everything. She leads the team in scoring, rebounding, and assists. Here's Robertson right down the lane, missed the layup. Here's the foul. That's no good by McCoy. And Hope will set it up again.
I'm very impressed with Riverton's defense. They're staying in that matchup zone.
Wing jumper by Akila Harris is good. She averages 9 points a game.
Looks like the Eagles are starting to jumpstart their defense. They were playing a little lackadaisical at the beginning of the game, but now they're starting to get them the balls to their feet and wanting to be a little bit hungry on the defensive end. I think they need to do that. There you go.
There's a steal by Sarah McCoy.
That was
Durham
nice.
with a nice pass, and Harris can't finish. Good save, Devin Flanagan.
Her teammate was not ready for that pass. Coach is not happy.
Blistering pick there by Jessica White. Flanagan doing it all.
Nice. That was you know, if there are any young ladies watching this game, take a look at how she keeps her head up. She doesn't allow herself to look down. She has a nice solid jump stop, keeps the ball up, head up at the basket, solid jump stop, and just continues to look in a strong finish. Great job, Devin.
Fouls on Tatiana Valentine. Can't complete the three-point play, so it's 8-6. Riverton the early lead. Both teams with kind of squeakers in the super sectionals. Riverton beat Lewiston by 2, but Lewiston had a shot off at the buzzer that was called no good as Robertson misses the 3. She's 50% out there coming into this game, but Hope unable to hit the 3 here in the early going. Drives the lane again. Misses her second layup. There's a follow-up.
That was a big board. A real big board.
Sarah McCoy averages 13 rebounds a game.
And Riverton had 3 defensive players down there, but if you notice, not one player boxed out Sarah McCoy. And if you're going to get position, you have to sit on that box out. We talk about that all the time.
Kyle Price calls timeout. Didn't like what he sees. There's a look at the scoring highs for Riverton. 96 against Williamsville. And they're low 46 against Niantic. And they won both of those games, so they can win games whatever way they need to.
And I don't have the stat in front of me, but I would love to know how many points that Miss Flanagan had out of those 96. She seems to be the scorer tonight.
And there's a look at Chicago Hope. 86 points in their regional opener against Chicago Agricultural Science. And the low was 39 Monday in the super sectional against Timothy Christian.
Well,
played a little bit closer to the vest that game.
I'll tell you what, I saw that game, and with Timothy Christian had a great game plan, and you know what it was? It was to slow them down and go into a type of defense that would make them have to decide what shot to take rather than run the ball, run the floor. And they had a great game plan. Chicago Hope came out on top.
Coach Spearman was telling me they shot 30% in that game against Agricultural Science and still won by 50. So she was kind of glad to see that super sectional game, that close game. Made her job a little easier getting ready for state this week. Kind of an eye-opener to get her team to realize that, hey, even though you won by 50, 32, 14, and 19 going into the super sectional, you know, there's some good teams out there, and they're going to make a run at you.
And I really think that the defense really is the kickstart for this team. And that's probably what she told them at the timeout.
2:35 left, first quarter. Riverton struggling a little bit against this pressure now. Robertson with the steal, but she turns it over.
She's had a couple of critical turnovers, just passing the ball, elevating herself off the floor.
She's been able to get open in the lane, but hasn't made the layups. Game tied at 8, the only unbeaten team left in Illinois against the #1 team in the state.
Great post defense down there.
Jessica White for 3. She was in the three-point shootout last night, but only made 3, and both teams cold from three-point range, 0 for 4 combined. That foul against Devin Flanagan, her first.
She just does a little bit of everything. She was playing post defense, pressuring the outlet. Definitely an all-around player. Only a junior.
Already getting Division I looks. 2 minutes left now, first quarter. Robertson thinks about it from 3. Instead gives it off to Harris. That one's off the mark, and a foul over the back. Tatiana Valentine. And the Hope ladies getting in a little bit of early foul trouble here. That's 2 on Valentine, 2 on Brandy Durham here in the first quarter.
And I think that could come into play, especially again, since we talked about earlier, they don't go very deep on the bench. Ooh. Great contact there.
A couple of players go down on the other side. Valentine and Bethany White. She gets up and beats the crowd down the floor, and Shantae Robertson hits the floor hard as she commits the foul.
I'm not really too sure if she jumped up to try and block the shot or if she tripped on someone.
How quick is Bethany White? She's sneaky quick. She was on the floor in the corner and beat everybody down the floor.
See, she tried to block that shot.
Landed
Did
on
you
her
see how
back.
high? Great
Yeah.
leaping ability, back and neck. Great leaping ability.
Hopefully she'll be okay and be back in this game. Laxavia Tony, one of the top reserves for Hope, comes in. She's a freshman. So Hope now without their all-stater. Here's Jessica White again for three. That one's good.
Excellent pass. She came out of the backdoor screen, did a nice offensive cut into the lane, left her defense inside, squared up and hit a nice shot.
Three, number 76 on the season for senior Jessica White.
Shantae did not like that shot. She's ready to come back in.
Nice power move inside by McCoy. She's got 4.
Nice defense.
Another turnover. Riverton a little bit frustrated by that press here as the first quarter winds down. Valentine for 3. Hope still unable to get anything down from behind the arc, and Sarah McCoy given the timeout as she falls out of bounds.
I really do think that you made a good point regarding the pressure. That seems to be the only problem that they're actually having. You know, Riverton is doing great coming past their half court.
16-game win streak for the Lady Eagles. Their last loss was to Chicago Marshall in the Peoria Manual tournament, and they only had 7 healthy players. They were hit with a bout of the flu, so that was their last loss just up the road in Peoria at Peoria Manual. Riverton comes into this game, their last loss in the regional semifinal a year ago, of course. And Kyle Price talked about that. This is not a surprise to them to be unbeaten this year. They were 23-5 a year ago, ranked in the state, went into that regional semifinal against Warrensburg-Latham. Admits his team might have looked past Warrensburg-Latham. They were knocked off, and says that was a terrible moment. A lot of tears in the locker room that night, and they've been pointing to this weekend ever since.
And he also made a point to say that Devin Flanagan put in a lot of work in the offseason along with their teammates to get prepared for the upcoming season.
11-10, Riverton with the 1-point lead over the #1 team in the state. Both teams struggling from 3-point range, 1 for 7 combined. That 3 by Jessica White, the first one of the ball game. It's Lady Eagles ball, under a minute to go now, first quarter. Robertson back in there for the Lady Eagles. They look to go inside. McCoy averages 8 points a game. Her shot's no good. Devin Flanagan another rebound.
I think Robertson needs to find her shot or needs to score.
Laxavia Tony applying the pressure for Chicago Hope. Flanagan, nice duck under move. Up and good. She's got 10 points. Back to a 3-point lead for the Hawks. Big crowd from Riverton here today. And the cold shooting continues. Now 5 of 18 for Chicago Hope. 5, 4, 3 says the crowd. The 3 is no good by White. And Hope will not get a shot off as the buzzer sounds. 13-10, the underdog Riverton Hawks with the lead. Back at Redbird Arena after this local break. Hey, Sticks. I could hear Jim in my headset while the game was going. Am I supposed to be able to do that?
Welcome back to game one of the quarterfinals. I'm Jim Albrecht on the sidelines. Before we go back to Lee and Bernie, we go into the stands. And of course, Riverton leading by 3. And a big reason for that is a pair of twins, Bethany and Jessica White. And their father joins us right now. Anxious moments?
Yeah, a little nervous. Hopefully they'll get going here in the second quarter and we'll win this game.
Now, you played for Mount Pulaski for 3 years. Then, back in those days, you had to go get a job your senior season. Your team went on to win the state championship. Do you still look back at that and say, man, just one more year of ball?
I sure do, and that's I constantly told my girls that don't quit because it might be the year they win the state.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
That is John White. We'll send it back to Lee and Bernie for the second quarter. Lee?
All right, Jim, thanks. Yeah, that's a tough story for Bill White, I tell you. His girls are outstanding shooters. He passed it along to his daughters. And they give Dad credit for teaching them how to shoot. A little bit of trouble now in the half court, but a nice move. That's Becky Coaches. She couldn't finish. And here come the Lady Eagles down 3 as we start the second quarter. Again, matchup zone for Riverton. It's worked well for them. Robertson able to get in the lane again. This time she's fouled on the shot.
You could just see her face. She's really frustrated. She's not, you know, she's not finishing her shot. She's an excellent leaper. She just needs to follow through and finish.
That's 2 fouls now on Devin Flanagan. Here's Shantae Robertson, 5'4" senior, but
that's her first point.
She is a bundle. 63% free thrower. That is her first mark in the scorebook this afternoon.
And she averages 12 points a game. She's going to need 12 and more, I would think.
Free throw taken off the board, a lane violation on the Lady Eagles. Those are the kind of seemingly small mistakes that loom so large in a state finals or quarterfinals game.
Well, it's the little things. As coaches, we always talk. It's the little things that make you better.
Good pressure by Hope. Now it's Robertson guarding Flanagan. She goes right around her, up, good,
nice.
Count it.
Now,
and she'll go to the line for the 3-point play.
Again, what impresses me the most is her presence as she drives to the basket. She has her body strong and erect, head up, leans into the shot and finishes strong and uses the backboard. I'm sure there are a lot of college coaches here that are really writing down some information regarding Devin Flanagan.
I'm sure most of it's positive about that young lady.
Absolutely.
Devin Flanagan makes it 16-11 with a 3-point play. She's got 13, averages 17. Robertson again in the lane. That's been there, and she finally gets a layup to go for her. Everything else bounced out. Her first field goal of the afternoon. Casey Carver's shot's off the mark. Here's Jess White. She bounces it good.
That was a nice one. We call it garbage basket because she took that rebound off the floor.
But we will take it, says coach.
No room in the scorebook for descriptions.
No.
Kind of like on the golf scorecard. Nice pass inside. McCoy
Nice
up and good.
Very nice little pass.
Brandy Durham averages 3 assists a game. She got one there, a nice one inside. It's back to a 3-point game. Riverton got it in that time, but they still don't look comfortable against this press.
No, a lot of pressure, and the inbounder is not helping things by, she's not moving to allow her a better passing angle. Nice.
Nice curl in by Flanagan. Missed the bunny, though.
That was the first shot that she struggled with. She faded away a little bit on that shot, but she came out of the screen very nice.
A nice set play, though. Nice little curl around the low post. And a travel on Robertson.
You know, it's ironic because I was just wondering when the officials are going to call traveling on these guys, because if you really watch closely, they're so fast, but they shuffle their feet before they put the ball down. It's like a ball fake or a head fake, but they use their feet when they do it.
They try to get it down the floor, and Carver comes up with it. Almost loses it. And guess who? Devin Flanagan, no call on the contact.
That was good.
She's got 15.
That's a good no call. Has to let her come down.
Riverton matches their biggest lead of the game here, 20-15. Now it's Bethany White on the point of that matchup zone. It was Flanagan. She looks a little winded. Tony's shot's no good. McCoy puts it up. Good. And it'll count. She'll go to the line.
Coach calls her the beast of the boards, and that's exactly what she did. She solid positioning underneath, boxed out very well, jumped up, grabbed, kept the ball up, and went up strong.
Sarah McCoy, third team All-Stater, 51% at the line. Bounce, bounce, no good.
She averages 8 points a game. She's already at 10.
20-17, the Riverton lead is 3. Look at that defense.
Riverton sets a lot of nice ball screens.
Boy, if these teams would make layups, we'd have ourselves a game. Here's Robertson, strong to the hole. They called the charge that time.
I thought.
And Janelle Spearman can't believe it.
Jessica White had excellent positioning. It was a great call.
She wants to know why the charge wasn't called at the other end. That's the first on Robertson, and 17 fouls on Chicago Hope. 20-17, the Riverton lead. Back after this network break. Lee Hall, Bernie Chero back at Redbird Arena on the campus of Illinois State University. Home of the Redbirds, as you might have guessed from that huge picture of Reggie Redbird right there at center court. 4:43 left. And it looked like a pretty good call,
I thought it was
but
a
the
great
Hope
call.
people are wondering why it wasn't called at the other end.
I'll tell you why, because basically when Shantae was driving to the basket, she just went into her with her shoulder, and you know, that's where the charge occurred. Down at the other end, she put up the shot and then came down, and that's why the charge is not called.
The Mount Vernon High School Band entertaining the crowd here today. And as excited as the players are, it's always a great honor for the bands to be invited to play at the state finals. There's a look at the scoring for Hope. It's McCoy, as you mentioned, in double figures with 10.
She's really stepping up.
Harris has 4. Flanagan leading the way for Riverton with 15. And here's the pressure by Hope. Coaches brings it up.
It's great to see a 6-foot ball handler. I like seeing that.
Casey Carver with it. She hands it off to Flanagan.
What a nice
Missed
move.
another layup. Boy, the two All-State guards unable to hit their layups. Flanagan was hot early. Now she's gone cold. Robertson's gone the other way. Loose ball. And here comes Riverton with it. Haven't heard much from the White sisters. Jessica has 5. Bethany has yet to score. She has the ball now on the wing for the Lady Hawks.
Watch how solid some of these screens are set, allowing them
Flanagan
to run their offense.
I thought she curled too far away from the basket that time.
She didn't finish strong. In her last 2 shots that she's missed, she did the same thing. You'll see as she curls around, puts the ball behind her rather than putting the ball in front of her, which does not allow her to gather the ball in front of her. She needs to put the ball down in front of her so she could gather it square to the basket.
Foul is on Sarah McCoy.
She needs to not think about that shot and just relax at the free throw line.
Tatiana Valentine back in for the Lady Eagles. Devin Flanagan, 73% free thrower coming in, just now 4 of 6 at the line this afternoon. 16 points, 16 of 21 for Kyle Price. He'd like to see that scoring spread out a little bit more, I think.
Well, Riverton has yet to lose the lead of the game, and they're doing a great job.
Robertson, fall-away jumper is good.
Last 2 baskets were by Robertson for the Eagles, and I think she's really going to have to step up offensively if they're going to get into the game.
Robertson now with 5. There's There's a hold. Got away with it. Flanagan lays it up. She'll go back to the line.
And I think she just let that go so she could get 2 shots out of it. She had the defense all over her. She couldn't really control it better than that.
She's been able to.
She's getting tired. It looks a little.
Yeah, I thought she looked winded a little bit earlier.
And, you know, there's a big difference between being winded and ragged, you know, because the defense is so aggressive and just on top of her all the time.
Second team All-Stater. She was All-State in soccer as well. Struggling a little bit here at the free throw line this afternoon.
You just kind of watch on her release. When she just lets it follow through in the basket, she does okay. When she snaps her wrist, it doesn't go. When she brings the ball hands back, she's not making her shot.
She's missed 3 of her last 4, and it's a 2-point game.
One of the things I'm noticing with the Eagles transition, they're not getting any. It's one pass at half court, and they have nobody running the middle of the floor.
Brandy Durham off the mark. Riverton's doing a good job on the boards. Now they need to find the hoop. Jessica White, that 3's a little short. And Riverton just gets 1 shot at it that time. Bethany White's only taken 1 shot. Crowd wants to travel. Two and a half minutes left, first half. Chicago Hope, the overwhelming favorite coming into this game. Riverton enjoying the role of underdog. Valentine for 3.
That's nothing by net. Nothing but net for Tatiana Valentine.
She made 6 in the 3-point shootout last night, did not advance. That is the first lead of the game for Chicago Hope with 2:10 left. And Devin Flanagan answers at the other end. She's got 19.
Devin is definitely a solid leader on the floor of this team.
Here's a 3-point try by Durham, no good. McCoy, the offensive rebound, misses, gets it back, puts it up strong, misses
3 in
again.
a row, box her out.
And now a whistle.
Coach is yelling, box out, box out, box out.
3 opportunities, that drives the coach nuts.
Fouls on Bethany White, her first.
Watch underneath. 1 opportunity, no box out. 2nd opportunity, no box out. 3rd opportunity, and then she gets boxed out.
Letting her stand there and on a pogo stick.
And she's a great leaper.
0 for 1 at the line, now 0 for 2. Abigail Starman, first lady off the bench for Kyle Price. He told us yesterday she's a physical player, going to play a big role against Hope.
Well, he's given Devin a well-needed rest.
Sarah McCoy makes the second. She's got 11. The lead is 1 for Riverton. Minute 40 left, first half.
If anything's going to happen, I think it'll be now for Chicago Hope with Devin on the bench. Put some pressure on, try and score out of that.
That's the 2nd foul on Sarah McCoy. So Durham, McCoy, and Valentine all with 2 fouls now
Double
for the Lady
bonus.
Eagles. Sorry, Valentine has 3 now. And it'll be 2 free throws for Becky Coaches, 6-foot junior, 70% free thrower.
Struggling from the free throw line.
Much better shot that
Yes,
time.
much better. She stayed on the line, follow through with her shot.
Janelle Spearman looking on as her team trails by 2. Biggest lead for Riverton's been 5. There's a 3 up and good by Tatiana Valentine.
Back-to-back 3s by Tatiana.
Trying to shoot Riverton out of that matchup zone. This is Bethany White, 15 points a game. She has not scored yet for Riverton.
That's given them their first lead of the game.
There's Bethany in and out. Her sister had a hand on the rebound, but McCoy rips it away from her. Hope with the lead. Roberison adds to it.
That was nice. She did a nice slice through the lane and extended her reach. Kept her head up.
That's been there the whole game. She just hasn't made some of those shots.
And again, if you watch, you could see how when she is penetrating through the lane, she keeps the ball in front of her. It's a lot easier to attack the basket that way.
Hope almost tips out the miss. Riverton controls, now down 3. Devin Flanagan at the scorer's table, ready to come back in for unbeaten Riverton. 40 seconds to go now. Second quarter, 28-25 our score. Riverton taking their time on this trip.
Serious pressure on defense.
Bethany White's 3 is off the mark. And it's Starman with the rebound. Jess White with the miss. Starman another rebound. Double team. 17 seconds left. And what's the call? 3 seconds in the lane on Riverton. A couple of good rebounds there by Starman. They just couldn't capitalize on it.
She was double teamed front and back. Sometimes you tell the kids, you know, just bounce it off their foot, but she really didn't want to try anything too tricky, because if she lost possession, you're right underneath their basket. That's a big possession for them.
Hope with a chance for the final shot here. 5 seconds left. Robertson kicks it baseline. Durham shot up and no good. And we are at halftime. Riverton led most of the first half, but Chicago Hope puts a little run on here, and they take a 3-point lead to the locker room.
And, you know, they're really in a great position, because I do think Devin Flanagan is a little tired. I'm hoping that this halftime allows her to kind of catch her breath.
Let's go to Jim Albrecht. He is with Janelle Spearman.
Yes, I am, and she has the lead at the break, but it took a while to get it. What about your start, Janelle?
Very slow start. Very slow start. Not pleased with the start at all. We became more aggressive at the end of the second quarter. So hopefully we'll be able to go in the first quarter with the second half with the same aggression we had coming in the end of the first half.
You've seen every defense imaginable. The matchup zone seemed to bother you at first.
It did at first, and then after the several timeouts, and she told the girls just to relax, let the nervousness get out their system, and just be able to attack the basket and see what the defense gives you. So that's what we've been trying to do.
Is part of your plan to get the other team to run out of gas?
Yes, definitely. We like a fast-paced ball game, and hopefully we'll be able to keep the same tempo up both the second half.
Coach, I'll let you get to your team.
Thank you so much.
That is Coach Spearman of Chicago Hope. We'll go back to Lee Hall right now. Lee?
All right, Jim, thank you very much. 28-25, our halftime score. Chicago Hope, #1 in the state with the 3-point lead. Back at Redbird Arena after this network break. Back to Jim.
We are back at the Redbird Arena, a tight one here between Riverton and Hope, and of course a man who's hoping Riverton can prevail in the second half is Principal Bill Lamke of Riverton. Bill, as a fan slash principal, you've got to contain yourself over these things, but it's hard to do, isn't it?
Yeah, it is tough. Watching the girls through the sectional and super sectional, they played a little sloppy at times. They played very well today, and they're hanging in there really well.
You run the table so far, 33-0, and of course everybody knows that's the hardest thing in the world to do. We haven't had a state champion in either Class A or AA in girls since 1997 that went undefeated. So I assume your coach is just saying, hey, we started 0-0 when we hit state.
I think after they won the super sectional, it was kind of off their back. They knew they were here. They ran around January, February with the target on their back, being undefeated, and a lot of teams were gunning for them, but they held up under the pressure, and we're really proud of them.
Bill, I got to ask you, a lot of people watching in the big city right now will say, oh, it's got to be a lot easier being a principal at a smaller school. But to me, the way the world is, the world comes to everybody's doorstep, no matter what town you live in or what city. Is it easier being a principal at a smaller school or not?
I think it's a lot more enjoyable. It's probably more laid back than the city, but we have the same problems. We have some of the same issues, whether it be low income or at-risk kids that the big schools do.
Talk to me about discipline, Bill, because in the old days, you could pretty much lay down the law. If you were in charge, you were in charge. Now there seems to be kind of a thin line between who's in charge and who can make their own call, even if they're only 15 or 16. Is that something you try to work with the parents closely with?
I think parents are the most important part. When we have discipline problems, we try and get those students in. Times have changed. Things have changed, and there are things you can't do anymore. When corporal punishment went out in the 80s, things changed. But obviously, we have other alternatives now. We have more alternative schools, and we can get more help for those students.
You think there'll always be people who want to be principals? Because, the more you hear about schools, you hear people, well, gosh, I don't know, the aggravation, maybe it doesn't pay enough. You gotta love the whole idea of educating younger people. Otherwise, we are going to run out, aren't we?
I think so. I was asking my 3-year-old son today what he wanted to be. Had a neighbor walking with us, and they asked if they wanted to be a principal. And he said, no, I don't think so. I want to be an architect. But I think there's plenty of people out there that are in education that want to be leaders someday. And you can tell that when you go to universities and see these people taking classes to go further their education.
Bill, go back in the tunnel, take a deep breath, get ready for the second half. We wish you all the best.
Thank you. Hope we have a good one.
That is Bill Lamke from, of course, Riverton. And now we turn our attention to Chicago Hope, where Billy Williams, the assistant principal, is standing by. No relation to that other Billy Williams in Chicago, no?
Actually, it's Derek.
Oh, it's Gary. Okay, they told me it was Billy. Gary, what do you think of the first half? A little nervous in the first quarter with the slow start?
Yeah, a slow start kind of got me a little nervous, but I'm confident our girls will pull it out in the end.
Now, when you have a great athletic team like you do you think it's harder to coach them, or do you think it's easier? Because in today's day and age, young people know what they can do on a court before the coach even tells them. When they're growing up, they're out there playing the one-on-one. Is it harder to create a team atmosphere with great athletes?
It all comes down to respect, and I think that's what our coaches push: respect. Respect for the players, respect for the individual, and also respect for the team. So if our kids are rallied around that word respect, it's not really difficult to coach a good athletic team, which we do have. We have a great athletic team, but they respect the coach, they respect the coach's decisions, and they respect each other.
Gary, you guys could go toe-to-toe with AA teams. You know that. You've been proving that in the past. Now, of course, you get the honor of being the first Class A team down here. And, of course, the pressure then falls right on you because you're supposed to be the king here. What do you think of all that?
Well, it is a lot of pressure, and I think the coach said on television the other day that keeping the girls level-headed was the most important thing. We know that this is history in the making right here. First time a Chicago Public School came down for a single-A tournament, so we're trying to just do our best to represent Chicago Public Schools.
Now, Chicago Hope, that wasn't named after the TV series, right? The TV series was named after you guys, right?
Actually, it's John Hope College Prep High School. That's the name. That's the full name of the school.
So the trip down here, pretty exciting?
It's very exciting. Our kids are excited. You can see we have a whole, all of the entire school came down to support us, so everyone's just excited about being here.
Gary Williams, thank you so much for stopping by. Enjoy the time down here. It's a special time.
Thank you very much.
That is Gary Williams, assistant principal, of course, at Chicago Hope High School. We're going to be back with more from the Redbird Arena after these local messages.
state tournament. #1 team in the state, Chicago Hope, leading 28-25 here at the half. Lee Hall, Bernie Chero, and Bernie, a slow start, as Coach mentioned, for Hope. They were able to get penetration against that zone, and then they were finally able to finish some shots as the second quarter ended.
I think they were struggling with the matchup, but I think, as she mentioned, you know, she told them, read what the defense gives you and then attack. They're so quick with that very first step that they can attack the basket. But I think the key is the rebounding. You know, they have so many rebounds. They have 11 offensive boards, but that's because nobody's boxing them out. And I really think that there's going to be a problem with some of these stats as we look.
Defense kind of the name of the game here. Neither team shooting it all that well, and as you mentioned, a lot of those Lady Eagles misses were, that's why they have so many offensive rebounds.
Exactly. A lot of pressure there too.
5 turnovers.
Which I'm pretty impressed with that.
I am too, yeah.
Because of the pressure defense, it is so apparent that both teams are playing very good defense. But look at, interesting enough,
10 fouls on Hope. That could come into play later in the game. Here's our scoring leaders. Sarah McCoy leading the way for Hope. Harris with 7. Valentine with 6. She hit a couple of threes in the second quarter. For Riverton, Devin Flanagan, 19 points, and really not much else, and that's probably, I would think, a concern for Kyle Price right now.
It would be a concern for me. As I look at Chicago Hope's statistics, they have excellent balanced scoring, and Devin is getting tired. And of course, this is state tournament, though. She'll find a second win in the second half. But if I were coach at halftime, I would tell the kids they need to step up. They need to get offensive positioning so that they could contribute, whether it's an offensive board or, you know, a catch and shoot, which the White sisters have been trying to do.
Second half action coming your way from Redbird Arena after this local break.
We are back at the Redbird Arena. Riverton is trailing Hope 28-25. With me is Kyle Price, the head coach of Riverton. Quick question, do you have the gas to bring this thing home?
Absolutely. You know, Flanagan played a tremendous first half, and there are a couple things at halftime. We challenged the other 4 to step up, pick up the energy, and contribute on the offensive end. And of course, we're going to win or lose this ball game. Comes down to one thing: we got to keep their size off the offensive glass.
Kyle, enjoy the moment.
Thank you, sir.
Let's go back to Lee for some highlights.
All right, Jim, thanks a lot. There you see some of the crowd here from Riverton. They have a good contingent here. And then Devin Flanagan, she was miss everything for the Hawks in the first half, and there's one of the threes knocked in by Tatiana Valentine. Here's Flanagan again. She was able to get to the hoop, and when she finished, I mean, she's 7 of 10 from the floor in the first half. There weren't many misses. Hope with the comeback. They trailed by 5 at one point. They lead it by 3. Back after this network break.
As we begin the second half, it will be Chicago Hope possession.
And the John Hope College Prep Lady Eagles will start with possession here in the third quarter. We mentioned earlier in the game, there are only 2 losses to AA teams. Baseline jumper way off the mark. Here's Flanagan with another rebound.
I mean, think about everything Flanagan does. She handles the ball. She's a leading scorer. She's one of the top defenders.
Flanagan, double team. She'll go to the line. Boy, Bethany White was wide open on that double team, too.
And, you know, one of the things that they're doing is they run that fake backdoor cutter, that initial cutter, and everybody looks to see for her, but then they give it to Devin.
Devin Flanagan at the line.
4 fouls for Tatiana. That could be a problem.
Flanagan rolls in the first. That gives her 20. Season high 27 earlier this year against Flanagan, and Tatiana Valentine will have to come out with 4 personal fouls. Devin seems to have found her mark there at the free throw line after struggling a bit in the first half. She makes it a 1-point game. Three-pointer up and good. That's Brandy Durham. Number 40 on the year for her from behind the arc. Her first basket of the day.
You know, it's okay to be a perimeter defender, but you can't stand and watch a girl shoot. You got to get out there and put some pressure on the ball and react to the pass when she catches that pass.
Flanagan. Up
nice
and good.
move. That was an excellent move. Solid crossover.
Still, though, not able to get her teammates involved right yet. Here's Robertson. The help defense is a little bit too late, and Robertson scores.
Little guard-to-guard answer.
4-point lead for Hope. They trailed by 5 early in the second quarter. Jessica White, she puts up the 3, in and out. Good rebound, that time by Carver. And there's a foul, and I believe it's against Hope.
You know, Jessica White, that's her shot. She likes to shoot from the top of the perimeter. She needs to keep shooting that.
It's the first on Laxavia Tony, but there you get a look at the foul trouble. Valentine with 4, 3 other Lady Eagles with 2 each. On the inbound, Robertson almost gets the steal.
She's up in the stands.
She's in the front row. Stepped out of bounds with it. There she comes back. You got to have a ticket if you're going to watch from up there.
There you go. Great defensive pressure, though, by Chicago Hope. They're all over her.
Flanagan knocked to the floor. No whistle. Here come the Lady Eagles. Robertson nice into the lane. She's fouled and will go to the line.
You know, she's extremely difficult to defend because even though she does a jump stop, she slices through with her hands and arms and just puts everything in front of the defender and really draws the foul very well. You'll see her make her move, and then she brings that ball in front. It's extremely difficult to defend.
First free throw up and no good. She's now just 1 of 3 at the line as Abigail Starman checks back in. She replaces Casey Carver for Riverton. Robertson's second is up and good. She's got 10. And it's a 5-point lead. That matches the biggest of the game. Riverton had it earlier in the game, and now it's the Lady Eagles up by 5. We approach the 6-minute mark here in the third quarter. Devin Flanagan needs some help offensively if Riverton's to have a chance here. Bethany White up and no good.
They're really struggling finishing strong with the defense. The defense is really making a difference on the type of shots that Riverton is having to take. Nice
drop
pass.
Down pass. The layup no good for Harris.
Wow, that was a beautiful pass.
See Devin Flanagan penetrate and kick. She's been able to penetrate, but she hasn't really kicked when she's drawn the double team. And now a whistle 35 feet from the basket. And that goes on against Laxavia Tony. That's her second. The last Chicago area team to win a Class A state title back in '85. Elgin St. Edward beat Teutopolis. Hope trying to end that drought for the Chicagoland area. Flanagan pulls it back out. The Riverton crowd chanting for their team, trying to get them going. A near turnover at any rate. Good defense that time. Sarah McCoy got it, but couldn't control it inbounds.
Lee, statistically, I'm looking at Riverton is 10 for 26, but when you take out Flanagan's shots, they're 2 for 14. They have to be able to shoot the ball as a team. And he said all 5 must be a threat in order for them to be able to win this game. She's trying to start something here.
That was one of the keys of the game, and so far it hasn't worked out for Riverton, and they trail it right now by 5. Long three,
nice.
up and good by Bethany White. She had a few open looks in the first half, couldn't make them. That was a long one there.
And that was nice because the whole team set that up. They, you know, it started with Flanagan, but they had 2 solid screens up the top with a nice.
Tony up and no good. Harris the rebound. Roberson's open for 3. It's good.
And she just looked at that basket and stared that shot into the net.
13 points for Shante Roberson. And back to a 5-point lead as the 2 teams exchange threes. Now the Lady Eagles crowd on their feet, chanting defense. Jessica White's open for 3, and the sisters are heating it up.
And I said, you know, she has to keep taking that shot. That's a shot that she likes to take throughout the season. She was having a hard time knocking it down, but this is a good time to start.
Back to a 2-point game. Tony looks inside with nowhere to go with it.
There hasn't been a lot of pounding the ball inside, a lot of post play. Everything's perimeter, both teams.
Roberson will try the 3. She got a quick look at it and threw it in.
This is answer, answer, answer. 5-second call.
5-second call on Riverton. They turn it over. 5-point lead for Hope. Back after this local break. Chicago Hope with the 5-point lead over Riverton, but somebody better alert air traffic control because the sky is filled with threes here in the last couple of minutes.
And you know what? Every one of them are, you can see there's no defense is running out rather than the defender being right on top of them. They have to be able to defend that at both ends of the floor. When you can look at the basket that long and you're these, you know, as good as shooters as these girls are, you're going to put them down, and that's what they need to do, both sides. Crowd's getting into it. It's kind of fun.
Great atmosphere here this afternoon at Redbird Arena. Glad you're here to be a part of it with us. 3:21 left, third quarter, 40-35.
Here we go, another 3. She looked a long time.
Ooh, that one hit the side of the backboard, looked like.
She'll try again. Oh, she decided not to.
Inside McCoy.
First inside shot in a long time.
Her first basket of the second half. She has 13, and that's the biggest lead of the ball game for either team. 7 points.
Off the ball foul.
Riverton hasn't really looked comfortable in that against that press. It's starting to take its toll. That foul is on Akilah Harris, her second. Riverton to inbounds. Becky Coaches looking for an open player. She gets to Casey Carver, and now it's Coaches bringing it across against the pressure. Riverton's been able to get some other girls involved besides Devin Flanagan, but Hope has gone ahead by even further, and now Flanagan scores.
That was really a good move to the basket. She allowed herself to clear to the weak side.
25 for Flanagan. McCoy, short. Harris can't hit it.
3 boards right there.
And now it's Laxavia Tony bringing it out. Roberson Penetrates, tries to give it to Tony, but fires it out of bounds to one of the photographers down in the baseline.
Her teammates have to be ready for that. She is probably one of the best no-look passers in the state.
Riverton can't get open. Robertson to steal. McCoy up. Good. Count it. She'll go to the line.
I think that was a critical turnover for Riverton. You really can't afford to turn the ball over underneath your basket. If you notice, the inbounder doesn't move, and it allows her to steal the ball. It was a great shot.
Robertson got the steal. McCoy gets the bucket. She goes to the line. Look, a double-double today. Some of those rebounds over on her own missed shots. Free throw's no good. It's back to a 7-point lead now. Riverton trying to stay in it. Jess White misses. Her sister gets it, can't control, loses it. They needed that bucket to stay in this one as we approach the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter.
I would suspect they're going to delay and use the 2 minutes because they can afford to take some time off the clock. They may have a problem with the footwork here because they're so used to moving so quickly.
Riverton comes out. And so does Brandy Durham. Lady Eagles content to burn a little clock here, leading by 7, minute and a half left, third quarter. You would think they would have the edge in this area. They've got the quickness, the ball handling, and the lead.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, as a defender, you just want to pressure her a little bit to get that 5-second call. There's that no-look pass again. Nobody's ready for it. And she gets a board again. She is a beast in there. Boy, I like the way she plays.
Sarah McCoy.
Oh, you know, when Coach told me that that was her nickname, I just sort of chuckled. But she is so dominant inside. She knows exactly where her shot is missed in the presence. She just looks strong to find everything she can.
Had 16 rebounds in the super sectional win against Timothy Christian. She has 17 points. Misses that, but gives Hope a 9-point lead with a minute left. Third quarter action from Redbird Arena in Normal, Illinois. Riverton trying to hang in there. Bethany White's shot just off the mark, just a little bit long.
McCoy
Good look
gets the
that
board,
time.
and McCoy comes down with another rebound.
And a little more airing out for the Lady Eagles here as we approach the 30-second mark. Riverton coach Kyle Price said his team relished the underdog role. They will be the underdog going into the fourth quarter as well. McCoy up and good.
That's the way you want to run the delay, too. You know, you want to drive and dish when you track the defenders.
It's an 11-2 run by the Lady Eagles. Flanagan puts up the three. Airballs it at the buzzer. Big third quarter for the Lady Eagles, the #1 team in the state. Takes an 11-point lead into the fourth quarter. Back after this network break. Minutes left in this ball game. Chicago Hope with the 11-point lead here as we enter the final quarter. Let's go to Jim Albrecht real quick.
I am standing by with Sarah McCoy's mom, Sharon, and she is one happy woman right now. Your daughter has turned this game around.
Yes, she has. Did a tremendous job. All of them are doing a good job.
What's basketball mean to your family and your daughter?
It means everything. The world.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the game.
Yes, I am enjoying the world. UPS, I hope y'all watching.
Back to Lee.
Little shout out back home as Riverton turns it over. And there's a look at Sarah McCoy, 19 points to lead the way.
She's definitely been the dominator for Chicago Hope this afternoon.
And really no answer inside for Riverton.
No.
The only inside baskets they've had were Devin Flanagan driving and taking it to the lane. The 11-point lead, the biggest of the game. And that's Brandy Durham getting inside for the bucket. She's got 5 points. And it gets a little tougher now for Riverton, down 13 with 7 minutes left. Flanagan with the one-on-one move. The other Riverton players look like just standing around a little bit too much there, in our opinion. Take a look at the stats after 3 quarters. Field goal percentage a little bit better for Hope now. They have the edge of the threes, and look at the rebounds,
right.
30 to 22.
Really, and again, you know, boxing out is a big issue, but you have to have the presence of knowing where the ball's going to come off the boards to be able to get those types of rebounds.
Devin Flanagan can tie a season high with that, but she misses. 26 points for her.
She just ripped the ball out of the air. Another board for McCoy.
17 rebounds for Sarah McCoy.
Look at that pass. Boy.
Hope loses it out of bounds. Nice penetration that time by the freshman Laxavia Tony. Hope reels in the pressure with a 12-point lead.
They've kind of gone away from setting some screens. Last 2 possessions on the floor, we really haven't seen any screens set either on the ball handler or, you know, to generate any kind of offense or offensive openings.
Standing around a little bit.
Right.
6:25 left.
You know, 2 things on offense. You need to generate or create. You can't stand.
No good that time for Harris. Another good look, though. And Riverton tries to stay in this game, down 12. Bethany White, tough shot, rolls it up and in, though. She was not going to be denied that time. Back to a 10-point game. If Riverton can get a couple of stops and hit a couple of shots at the other end, they're not out of this one yet.
And, you know, they have to keep Chicago Hope from maintaining possession of the ball.
They can't allow that kind of penetration by Robertson, though. The help is just not there. Flanagan walked, got away with it. Here comes Carver across now, and Riverton will set up down 10. They were down 13 just a moment ago. Jessica White's 3 is off the mark. And another rebound, that time for Harris.
What's starting to happen is Robertson is starting her offensive footwork at half court, and she just fakes the socks off the defender.
Robertson walked.
But, you know, as a defender, you can't go with that first ball fake, especially with a girl with her talent. You know, you have to go with every fake that she gives you and understand that you have to overplay that fake.
Bethany White is second all-time in career threes with 310 coming into this game. She only has 1 this afternoon. Here's her sister, her
now
twin.
She came out with a solid screen to get that open shot. And that's exactly what I was talking about earlier. They have to go back to what got them here. Setting that screen, letting her come around the backside, and shooting from the top of the three-point key.
Little 6-0 run for the Hawks, and they trail it now by 7. Robertson penetrates, gives to Harris another missed layup.
McCoy
But guess who's there? McCoy now with 21 points.
Somebody has to have the assignment of just blocking her out.
18 rebounds, 21 points for the third-team All-Stater. And it's back to a 9-point lead. Bethany White Number 3, 12 in her career. Riverton's not dead yet. It's a 6-point game. Penetration, charge.
That was a nice defensive setup for Riverton.
Kyle Price likes it, and that's one thing that's been lacking. The help defense hasn't shut off that penetration once they've gotten past the guards. 6-point game, 3:54 left. This IHSA broadcast brought to you by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick. And welcome back to Redbird Arena in Normal. Second game of the quarterfinals coming up next. Hampshire back at state for the second year in a row against Elite 8 rookie Decatur St. Teresa. Don't go away, that one's coming up next. We've got ourselves a ball game again, Bernie. 52-46. Riverton clawing their way back in this one. They've got it down to 6 with under 4 minutes left.
Well, they're an undefeated team, and this is how an undefeated team plays. They're starting to get everybody involved. A lot of second chances, and meaning second opportunities for baskets. 16 points, that's a lot of points, and that's the difference.
Hope leading that rebounding battle, 33-24. These young ladies would like to stay another day here in Normal. Only the 4th year in existence for John Hope College Prep. Janelle Spearman started coaching these girls when they were in grade school.
6th grade, she said. Yep.
They won 3 city championships in grade school, and here they are hoping to play for a state title. Up first, though, they've got to get past Riverton, and these Hawks will not go away.
This is a critical possession for Riverton.
Jess White tried to set a pick. Here's Bethany White with it.
Big
Elbow
bucket,
jumper
Bethany.
is good.
That was a big bucket for Bethany, and you know, the assist.
To her little sis,
That's
20
right.
minutes younger than Bethany. Bethany
Play some
reminds her of that.
defense.
She's the older sister, and she picks up the foul here, her second.
That's good defense, though.
Foul on number 11, Bethany White. Her second 14 foul on the Hawks this half. Out of bounds.
Janelle Spearman wearing her, I'd say she was wearing her emotions on her sleeve, but she's wearing a sleeveless shirt.
Very animated coach.
That was not over and
I'm
back.
going to disagree with that. We're sitting at the 50-yard line. He responded to the coaches over there.
The Riverton coaches got that call. I don't think her foot went over the line.
That was a big break.
Sometimes you need those.
That's right.
4-point
Double
ball
team.
game.
Somebody's open.
Can't get rid of it. The steal by Tony. Robertson lays it up. And good.
That was the first transition basket in the second half.
Back to a 6-point Hope lead. And they call off the press again. Down the lane, Flanagan. Banks it, no good.
And, you know, unfortunately, she ran through that shot instead of staying with the shot.
Time running out on Riverton. Robertson penetrates, kicks. Harris, now they'll set it up again. Tony instead down the lane. She's fouled and she'll go to the line.
Could have been a little bit of a travel there prior to that shot, again with that quick footwork.
Laxavia Tony, just a freshman. She made some big plays. She doesn't have great stats, but she made some big plays in that super sectional final against Timothy Christian, including 2 free throws in the final 20 seconds. So she can make the clutch free throw.
How fun to be a freshman and come to Redbird Arena, IHSA state tournament. I mean, that's something that not very many young ladies get to experience, and she's out on the floor doing it all.
Missed the first one. This could make it a 3-possession game here. Off the mark, McCoy almost got the rebound. And Durham almost had it too. Riverton will get the coach and Elster look at it.
Coach is like, you know, what's it going to take, guys? Come on. nice move.
Flanagan, nice one-on-one, gives to Jessica White, who gets the jumper.
And you said she needed to do that more, and I agree with you. You know, you said she's going to need to dish a little bit. That was a good decision on her part.
She cuts it to a 4-point game. Back for the final 2:15 after this network break. Copyrighted broadcast is presented for the exclusive entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, or other use of this program without the express written consent of the Illinois High School Association and cost broadcast sales is strictly prohibited. Kyle Price and his Hawks right back in this one after a 13-4 run. They trail it by 4. There is hope against hope. But the Lady Eagles will probably finish strong here, leading by 4. You can almost see the anxiousness on the faces of the crowd from Riverton.
Well, you know, 2 minutes and 15 seconds, it's a lot of time. You know, a lot of people don't realize how long it is. This will be a big defensive stance. They're going to have some solid help side defense and not allow a dish. And if there's a shot, they have to box out and not allow a rebound.
Shantae Roberison brings it up against the pressure by Bethany White. Lady Eagles spread it out. And Roberison is fouled by Bethany White. That's her 3rd.
And Bethany is talking to herself, more than likely saying, you know, keep moving your feet, keep moving your feet.
Xavier Tony back into the ball game, the freshman. Under 2 minutes to go now. Hope led this one by 13 earlier in the quarter. Roberison faked the pass and lays it up and in. She's got 20.
That was a nice move to the basket. She made it look like she was going to dish it off, and she took it all herself.
6-point deficit for Riverton. Flanagan cuts it to 4. She's got 28.
All-state answer right there.
It's a season high for Devin Flanagan. The White sisters both in double figures now with 10 and 13 respectively. There's Roberison the miss.
There's the board they need.
And she threw it right to Roberison. Had to get rid of it as she fell, and she threw it right to the other team.
She's not going to forget that. Come on, get up on her and get her play.
And it'll be
Coach
free
Price
throw time for the Lady Eagles.
Coach Price is agonizing on his knees. It's so difficult to coach in the arena because they can't hear you, and you know, you just go through the emotions and the, you know, communication that you want them to hear, but they can't hear it.
Brandy Durham, 57% free thrower. This is her first attempt of the day. It's up and good. Boy, that rebound by Bethany White was huge. If she could have got it to one of her own teammates.
Or call a timeout. You have the possession, you don't want a turnover, just call a timeout.
Misses the second, the rebound to Riverton. They're down 5 with 1:04 left. Jessica White can cut it to 2, but it bounces off the back of the rim. And McCoy is there for another rebound. Sarah McCoy now, 19 rebounds on the afternoon. And the foul on Becky Coaches to stop the clock. That is 5 on Becky Coaches. Six-foot junior fouls out. She fouls out with 1 point, averages 9 coming in.
Now, you know, if you're Coach Spearman, you just tell them, take your time at the free throw line and just play some smart defense. Don't foul.
There's our game reset. 2 timeouts left for Hope, just 1 for Riverton. And Hope is in the bonus. Riverton would be in the bonus if the Eagles would foul, but they've probably been instructed not to do
right,
that.
I'm sure that they, you know, they won't intentionally.
Let's listen to Kyle Price.
remainder of the game. 55. I mean, you got to pick up immediately.
Get all
It is
over.
full denial.
Get the ball.
It is full denial. We want to put anybody at the line outside of number 20.
Come on, we can do this.
Preferably not 3, but one of the other 20s on the floor.
Hey, we got this, White. Keep your heads up.
You're
guys.
right there. We need to, miss a free throw, box out, get it out, score transition.
Everybody
55. Only 3 possessions.
Telling his ladies to box out on the free throw and who they want to send to the line.
Well, you know, really, you can't be choosy. They don't have a whole lot of time. Ideally, they want to just, you know, foul right away. The Eagles are going to try and get that, you know, ball in Shantae's hands because, you know, she's their leading free throw shooter.
63%, the only Lady Eagle over 60%. 20 points on the afternoon. That one's no good, and Flanagan gets a rebound and an over-the-back call on Akila Harris.
Now,
you tell them not to foul, but these are high school kids.
And you know what? I'll tell you what. That couldn't have been scripted any better for Riverton because two things. Clock is stopped, is what you want. You have the ball, and you're going to try and score here. So these are really two big free throws by Flanagan. She's going to have to take her time, make them both, and hopefully they'll put some pressure on the ball and give them some problems to inbound the ball.
7 of 12 at the line this afternoon. Now 4 of 5 in the second half. Again, a season high 29 now for Devin Flanagan, saving her best for the state quarterfinals.
Okay, they need some pressure here.
30 points for Devin Flanagan. It's a 3-point game.
Pressure her. You need to foul, ladies, remember? That's what coach wanted. Foul, foul, foul.
They can't get it. They don't want to foul Roberts, and now they go after Tony.
See, now that took 10 seconds. And they can't afford that. They needed it right away in the backcourt.
And really, Robertson's their best free thrower, but she's only 63%. It's not like it's a given.
And you can't be choosy at this point.
Sends Laxavia Tony to the line. She's a 36% free thrower. Missed her only 2 attempts just moments ago. No good. McCoy runs it down, though. Big. Oh, she's called for the travel.
She's trying to officiate, that's why.
Wanted the timeout. Wanted the timeout and got called for the travel instead. 41.1 left. It's a 3-point game. Riverton looked to be out of it, down 13 earlier in this quarter.
And they have no timeouts left.
For the tie. Devin Flanagan with 33.
Barn burner.
Flanagan fouls at half court. They did not want that.
You know, but I'm not so sure if that, you know, let them know that's not a bad thing. You know, it's plenty of time left. They haven't made their last few free throws. He wanted her to think, but I don't think it was an intentional foul. I think she was trying to play some defense. She's tired. You know, I would have everybody in at the free throw line trying to get this board.
The Lady Eagles just 1 of 6 at the line here in the fourth quarter. Up and good, a big one for Brandy Durham.
Get 5 people in there to rebound the ball.
The Hawks need to check out here because the Lady Eagles are active on the misses. Didn't matter. Durham makes them both. 59-57, 23 seconds left. Devin Flanagan's done it all, 33 points. 15 seconds left. Flanagan with it near midcourt. Looking for an opening. Off the screen, 9 seconds now.
He's gonna get a 5-second call.
Puts it up, tough shot with 5 seconds left. And the Lady Eagles are gonna hang on for the win. Chicago Hope, an overwhelming favorite in a lot of people's minds, but Riverton takes it right to the wire and had a chance to tie right there at the buzzer. Heartbreaking finish for Riverton. Chicago Hope moves on to the medal round.
And you know, it was an excellent game. I know Devin Flanagan right now feels horrible, but she played a phenomenal game. She did everything today.
33 points for Devin Flanagan, season high double-double, 33 points, 12 rebounds.
A lot of credit to Shantae Robertson. She started off really slow, but came back second half.
Jim Albrecht is with the winning coach.
Well, they pulled it out in the last possible minute, and of course, Janelle Spearman, the head coach, you saw a 13-point lead fade, and you had to be a little bit worried on that last trip down by Riverton.
Oh, yes. Hats off to Riverton, their coaching staff, their players. Flanagan is a heck of a player. I mean, this is truly a game. They came out, they played strong. I'm just so glad we were able to pull it off at the end.
One of the reasons you pulled it off is a young lady right there on your shoulder, Sarah McCoy, 19 rebounds, 21 points. Not a bad day's work at the quarterfinal.
Not a bad day at all. When we played our super sectional, her season high was 15 rebounds, and I said, Sarah, I need more than 15. She gave me 16. So today, again, she gave me more than 16 rebounds, so I'm pleased. I mean, she came out, she played strong, and we was able to go inside and attack the inside.
Sarah McCoy, you are the Country Company's player of the game. You own the lane. Should we put your name down there in the lane?
Yes, definitely. She may be small in stature, but she's big at heart.
Do you guys feel any pressure coming down here favored to win?
A little, just a little. Just a little. We knew the target was on our back, but we know we had to come out, play strong.
It's been since 1985 since the Chicago team has claimed a state championship, so I don't have to tell you how driven you are.
Oh, yes, definitely, we are.
Coach, congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Sarah.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Lee Hall.
All right, Jim, thanks a lot. Well, when you got a veteran group like that, Shantae Robertson, senior, Sarah McCoy is senior. They showed their experience down the stretch there, and Brandy Durham with a couple of big free throws there in the final minute.
You know, when I talked to her before the game, and she said that McCoy, they nicknamed her the Beast, I thought, ooh, that's a little harsh. But I tell you, she was the dominator today. She made the big difference. And Robertson started off very slow, but came out in the second half, and I think they did that 1-2 punch.
And we have a stat monitor right here. Jim didn't have that. 21 points, 20 rebounds for Sarah McCoy. 20/20 vision gets them into the semifinals, I should say.
41 points between the two of the top two players in the state.
Riverton maybe surprised some people who would think the Chicago Public League playing in Class A would just kind of walk through that quarterfinal round.
You know, I was pretty impressed with Riverton's ability to run the floor. There weren't very many transition baskets. They were able to stop Chicago Hope from doing that, and it was an excellent state tournament game.
Devin Flanagan, 33 points to lead Riverton in a losing effort. They lose by 2. Their first loss of the season, 33-1 the finish for Riverton. Our congratulations to them on a great season, and congratulations to Hope as they advance to the semifinals. Back with more from Redbird Arena, quarterfinal number 2 on the way after this local break.